Alright, and we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know really what this is, but I figure I'm all jumbled around backwards. Alright, so I got a lot planned actually for today. There's a few things going on that I feel that I should address. One of those is being Starfield news, of course, but I didn't know. I mean, I think I heard at one point there was a Robocop game coming out, and I just kind of brushed it off. But after upon seeing the trailers for it, and I'm like, now, all right, now the real hype is here. So I guess without further ado, we ought to just show the video, or the commercial, or the ad, the gameplay trailer for it. So,
in local news, a new crime wave that is sweeping Detroit has already claimed the lives of 21 police officers. Disturbance? I'm a big fan. Now move.
there we go. Oh, there he is.
Can you fly?
What the hell is this? Where is all the money?
We all saw it hesitate in a life and death situation. Why?
Listen, I would trust this guy with my kids. I mean, if I had any. This was just an isolated glitch.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Oh, wow. Looks like it'd
Top
be...
story, Old Detroit. Crime has escalated to new heights. Authorities are overwhelmed. OCP insists the situation is under control. But the question remains, who?
It sounded like they had Peter Weller for that, where they brought back the original Robocop. That's awesome.
Once and for all.
Yeah, that was pretty nifty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't believe that I heard Peter Weller in that. That was actually really cool that I heard Peter Weller's voice. As you know, he was the original Robocop. And he was also in the second one. Now, he wasn't in the third one. I know there was I think there was a TV show or something, or I think like a TV series or after that, or I know there was a cartoon. I don't know if he voiced in that, but I know he was in the first one and he was the second one. He was the original Robocop, and hearing his voice through through the trailer there, that was quite nice. That kind of probably boosted everyone's expectations for it, because it's like, oh, RoboCop game, and the graphics looked all right. I mean, they looked a little robotic. The one image where you had the man with the woman there, you know, and they kind of looked robotic talking to each other. Of course, then again, we don't know how far along the production for that game is. At least I don't know. If anyone else does, you're more than welcome to share any information on Robocop Rogue City. Share any information that you have. That would be very nice. So the next story I want to look at is, well, this one, which is Starfield, but not this particular story. I think this was the one. So recently we had a few news stories from Starfield coming out, and here's one about Starfield and Redfield. They're changing their release dates on Steam. We already talked about this at one point. I got at least a consolidated list here, or a full list. So Starfield, among with Redfall, Arc 2, Robocop Rogue City, and Forspoken. Well, I don't know about the Robocop. Yeah, Robocop Rogue City and Forspoken are among the games that have changed their release date on Steam recently from 2023 to vague. So they're not giving any specific windows, and they're just basically putting up this coming soon, which is vague. So we see, the good news is that there's nothing to worry about. Well, probably nothing anyway. You see, back in 2022 in October, Valve made a change to the way it handles release dates for upcoming games. Prior to that, release dates on Steam store pages were a Wild West. There is some truth to that. They just got a little crazy on Steam there with just release dates and everything. And even when there was just we saw a bunch of games that were just announced all at once. That usually happens. That happened last year as well as the year before. Some games would list an exact date. Others would have something more ballpark, a month, year, maybe, and still others would drop in. Our current hodgepodge of coming soon displays leaves a lot to be desired. Valve wrote at some time, some information can be missing or incomplete. Worst of all, the custom text field we use to provide has no localization support, which creates a confusing, inconsistent experience for players across the globe. One-off jokes or references don't translate, and date descriptions vary from place to place. Just yada, yada, yada. I guess they're changing, exact dates. Because, the exact date would be August the 24th, 2023. A month and a year would just be August 23. The quarter of the calendar year would be, Q3 2003. The year itself, just the year is just 2023, and then having no date at all would just be coming soon. So you get that all across Steam and other services. But since the date on Steam was listed as 2023, it would be treated as though the launch date was December the 31st. It's reasonable to think that Bethesda would not want that, but it also doesn't want to publish a date publicly way too early, thus the no date option. So what this article is, trying to do, who is this anyway? PC Gamer? So I guess what this article is really trying to explain is that because the date, because they took away the dates to no date at all, to just saying coming soon, it just kind of clears the air up and leaves everything kind of in limbo, because they are actually, from what I understand, they're having some trouble between Microsoft and Bethesda. So here's an article from The Gamer. Hi-Fi Rush leaker claims Starfield and Redfall's development is in rough shape. Earlier this week, Ghostwire Tokyo and Evil within developer Tago Gameworks managed to surprise everyone that turned into the joint Xbox Bethesda Developer Direct Showcase. Not only did it announce Hi-Fi Rush, a game unlike anything that's ever been made before, or have we heard that before? It also shadow dropped the title, making it available to play as soon as the show ended. It was also a shock to pretty much everyone apart from an insider going by the name of Horns that called the announcement and surprise release before the show even started. Buoyed by the accurate information they received, Horns has made another claim, although this one is a lot less exciting. Thanks, Game Revolution. According to Horns, two Xbox heavy hitters for 2023 are in pretty rough shape at the moment, those being Redfall and Starfield. This is where that comes in. So they claim that both titles allegedly need more time in development than they're already getting. Yet Microsoft is rushing both titles to try to mitigate losses it suffered from its Azure cloud division. Again, this feels like a lot of like Microsoft really plays the market more than anyone else, and if anyone that is ruled by the market or the New York Stock Exchange, it is Microsoft. This is where I feel the problem with the stock market really comes into play, and just life, you know. I feel like the stock market in itself stifles quite a bit of it just feels like it stifles almost everything. So anything it comes into contact with, nope, you're done. You know, it's like Microsoft seeing Bethesda's like, now they're starting to treat Bethesda more like a investment than anything else. That's kind of sad, actually. I feel that Microsoft is probably going to try to push this game out this year. So, do we have a date that they put out? Well, they continue on saying, Horn states that Bethesda is asking Microsoft for more time with Starfield, although it's unknown whether it's going to actually get it. Apparently, if Bethesda announces a June release date for Starfield, then Microsoft has rushed the studio into releasing the title, and it will come out pretty rough. If we get a release date for sometime this fall, it means Bethesda has succeeded in getting more time, although it sounds like the game might be rough no matter the case. They also claim that Diablo 4 is in a similar state, and that the release date is June 6th is questionable at best. Redfall is coming first, and it's in rough shape still, and probably should have more quality control, but it's still in better shape than Starfield, says Horns. Bethesda wants more time with Starfield, and if they get their way, Starfield will come in fall of 2023. If Microsoft gets their way, it comes out in this fiscal year. So if Starfield comes out in June, expect it to be in rough shape. That's what this guy is saying. While we don't know the release date of Starfield, if we get one for Redfall during the showcase before it was announced that Redfall will be launching on May the 2nd, it was reported that the game had been internally delayed, suggesting that there might be issues behind the scenes. Both Starfield and Redfall have already publicly delayed once, which doesn't support the theory that development is going as planned. Oh, I'll bring the article up. Sorry about that. Both titles are hugely anticipated, and both will need to stand out to help Xbox gain the same pedigree that both PlayStation and Nintendo already enjoy when it comes to their exclusives. Microsoft rushing both of them out and them being in rough shape shouldn't be too surprising if that were to happen, especially given Bethesda's track record of rocky launches. All we can do is wait and see. But fingers crossed that the developers behind both aren't being forced to crunch in any way and get plenty of time to make sure that their respective projects release in the state that they want them to be in. I have a feeling that's not going to be the case. I'm having strong feelings. See, there's the gamer. That's where the article comes from. But I have my strong feelings that the game is going to release, but it's going to be probably in the same realm of. I'm hoping that it's better than 76, and I'm also just hoping that in any case, some of the computer bricking and some of the other very harmful things that happened during 76. I hope some of those issues are fixed so that people don't possibly, ruin their gaming PC. That, these things aren't getting cheaper. If anything, I feel like parts and everything for a lot of this stuff is getting more pricey. So, and buying an Xbox for some people when they have a PC just sometimes doesn't make sense, because it feels like everything you get on Xbox you can just get on PC. And instead of having, this was, I guess, a few years ago when Xbox had like the Xbox Series S, the X, or the S, whatever. I wasn't really looking in at all the different Xboxes out there. Having one main platform to use all of that actually helps. So, the next story, there's really not, I try to keep my eyes on Star Citizen every now and then, and when I start seeing news from Star Citizen 3 hours ago, 15 hours ago, 1 day ago, 6 days ago, which, I mean, they're all slightly different, but the game does feel like, it does seem like they still are working on it, and that actually is good. I know Robert's Space Industries or whatever has not had a good track record, and they have had this game in development for decades. I'd say it's the longest in-game development going on. It's still in alpha, believe it or not. Hasn't even gone to beta. I even almost say that it's barely a state of even pre-release. Which the only thing it looks like they've been working on is the graphics. So it's like it's the same thing as No Man's Sky, just with a different aesthetic, different ships and everything, and you have to pay for everything. It's just one big microtransaction simulator. That's how I still refer to it as. And until Robert's Space Industries proves otherwise, I won't be spending my money on that. And if we even look at, If we even look at Robert's Space Industries on, and I never click on the little ad icon. I always click on the actual website that you trust. That's verified. Just PSA. But if we look on their website, just follow the development, and I guess we are in lunar year 2023, finally. And I feel that they've not made any progress in the last 5 years, let alone throughout the whole development process. So, it's just, I mean, I know there's people out there that love this game. I'm not trying to knock it for you. If you have the game and you're playing the game, you love it, by all means, good. Enjoy it. And I hope you do enjoy it. I mainly go for the types of people, kind of like me, that, maybe we get invested in a game, or, it would have to be really fucking good for me to invest in it, and it would just have to be that much higher of a tier item for me to want to spend my money on, especially when it feels like it's already so pricey just to... Oh, I backed out too far. Just too pricey just to even get your foot in the door, let alone just let alone anything else. So I guess the only one I guess Squadron 42 is the only one that's really truly available. I think all the others are pre-orders, which they have a pre-order for more than 10 years. Sometimes feels kind of shady. But 45, yeah, it's not that much. If you send them a pledge, and I'm supposing that you get a whole bunch of content with that, that's one thing. But from what I've been understanding, there's just more and more people, or more and more microtransactions in there. And I don't know how much you have to put in there on an annual basis. I don't know about that. But what else do we have in breaking news today? Well, one thing I wanted to kind of touch on, Israel army kills 10 Palestinians, including an elderly lady. I know this is 100% completely different than what I was just talking about. But, just to bring out the normal news. So, Israeli troops have killed 10 Palestinians in one of the deadliest days in occupied West Bank since Israel raids intensified at the start of last year. Among them, the other, according to Palestinian Ministry of Health, 9 of the Palestinians were killed in a refugee camp after Israeli forces raided the area. The other Palestinian, a 22-year-old man, was shot by Israeli forces in the town of Al-Ram, north of Jerusalem. In the Jenin raid, which Palestinians had described as a massacre, at least 20 others were wounded with live ammunition. 4 of them were in critical condition. The dead include an elderly lady. According to Palestinian officials, she was identified as Magda Olbaid by the hospital authorities. Apologies if I butchered that name. Israeli forces who withdrew from Jenin after the killings said they were looking into reports of the woman's death. So this happened in occupied West Bank. Which I don't know how I feel about them calling it occupied West Bank, Which, Jesus, more than 170 Palestinians were killed in these raids. And I hear a lot of stories like this. I see Vice News having stories like this. I see others having stories. I see this all over Al Jazeera. I see this all over other news sources. I don't see this in American news. I don't see this on CNN or Fox News. Not that I really watch those. And it's just kind of sad. I just kind of want to bring something that, we should all go for peace. I think no matter what our religious preferences are, whether you are a Christian, are a Jewish, whether you are Islamic, Buddhist, Hindu, or other countless religions out there, Catholic, even atheists to a certain degree. And even those who, might not necessarily be religious, but were born and raised around that, that's that area, very religious on both fronts, on both Jewish and Islamic, and you got one extreme versus, another. And then a lot of what I've seen is a lot of the young people that are getting caught up in this that may not necessarily be as religious. It may just be people like, that were raised in a Jewish setting, or those who were raised in a Palestinian setting. And then all of this is just, who gets to control land. And, that's, you put two different types of religions in, which you'd figure that just because it's religion, it wouldn't have a whole lot to do, but apparently it's very integrated in both governments on both sides. That's really what causes half the issues right there. If all of Israel was non-denominational, they were free Israel, and no religion in the government on either side, and you integrated everyone very well, I think it would be a lovely place to live. Instead, they spend millions of dollars, especially on the Jewish front of everything. They spend billions of dollars every year, hundreds of millions of dollars on the Iron Dome protection, on other, stuff, military training, tanks, weapons, all sorts of stuff, keeping Raytheon in business, and keeping the war machine moving. So, yeah, I know. But hey, yeah, I don't really know how to add on that one. It's kind of a sad story. Next thing I kind of want to look at is something I found. See if I can't resize myself. Something I found last night, and I figure you guys would want to see it. It is a interesting video. Now, we're going to watch the video, and I want you guys to pay attention. Now, the thumbnail I got for this, featured the Sony PXW Z280. It featured a video camera, a camcorder, as the subject of the video. So we're going to watch this video, and hopefully maybe things will become clear for me. This is the second time I'm watching it. This is the first time you might be watching it. We will be watching this just to see what y'all think. Keep in mind, they are advertising a camcorder. Or at least what you think they're advertising, right? Camera operator just does not have really good stabilization here. That is a very unique train station. It also happens to be very loud on the inside. So, if you remember, they're supposed to be advertising a Sony camcorder here, not a Nikon, I'm assuming cinema type camera here, mirrorless, I'm guessing. So the Nikon D5, is that what it says? I see. There's finally the camera with, I think, better footage quality from the other camera that's looking at this one. And then that's all you get. Video test camera. I don't know what that's supposed to be. So a little background, which there's really not, without going to their website. So their comments are turned off. It's just weird. So
This is Jules, VP of a ketchup company, about to use.
So, looking here, you notice the comments are turned off. It's because it says try YouTube Kids. This, you can't download it and you can't save it. You try, this action is turned off for content made for kids. What? Why is Giuliano Biashanal, how are you even pronounce that? Which I'm not really good at pronouncing a whole lot of that. Why is this advertised as for kids? Now, one of my favorite YouTubers, Some Ordinary Gamers, Old Mudahar, has done things about YouTube Kids in the past. He's done videos I've watched. I wonder if maybe this is something he can't look into, why this channel here, which I don't want to subscribe to him, but what's up with this channel? Why is this listed in YouTube for kids when it's Alta Media and advertising? And if they have a website, which we love websites, so altamedia.net, it actually, they don't have a link. They have links over here. I'm almost afraid to touch those links. We just copy, paste over into, not the URL, but we'll just, all right, regular paste, all uppercase. So altmedia.net. Hopefully this doesn't. Ah, yes. It's in Italian. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just a company that just got confused on YouTube about where to go. And so they're like, I guess this is good for children. It couldn't be translated. We'll try again. There we go. Television and advertising productions. So, okay, so they, okay, so, you know, it's, I'm assuming a legitimate Italian website where I guess these maybe ladies, because I noticed that she was one of the camera operators. I wonder if it's just like a couple of these ladies, like a mother and daughter team here that's just got Alta Media, because under contacts, PDF catalog, and gallery archives. You don't have, I mean, your about section should have something, right? So, oh, there's the train station. So, all right. Yeah, because there's that woman showing up again, the woman that was from the video. Okay, so, but why is her stuff listed as made for children? Unless she just was kind of daft and she was kind of an idiot and I guess accidentally clicked on the YouTube for Kids thing. Which on here, I don't see anything on here that she's
Alta
YouTube
Media
for Kids.
Television.
Dude, what happens if we click on this one's 30 seconds long, so let's do this. Video N as in November dash raw
Audio Jungle.
Z9 3.0.
Audio Jungle.
Older woman going glamour shots here. Yeah, she still got it, I think. So I guess maybe it is a mother and daughter team, because there was that was the older lady again, and then there was the much younger lady that looks kind of like her in very similar fashion. So I'm curious. Aerial video. Well, I'm just curious. Maybe this is just like a mother-daughter camera operating crew here. What do we got here? Computer Graphica. Computer Graphica 3D. Avatreso le Computer Graphica 3D Alta Media Resia Componenti Tenishi Industrati en Selimia in modo realistico il frammento funzionamento progetta ambedi architabagrici e ubranti ambassi explosive adversto, yeah, something. So I'm terrible at Italian, and I do frankly apologize for attempting to try to, I guess, torture you with that terrible pronunciation of just the Italian language. Ah, yes. This is... Alright, so I feel like they may be legit. That we may have just kind of nipped this in the bud. That they might have made a mistake on, because see, this video is not listed as YouTube for kids. So, yeah, I could probably see maybe it was, there's no comments at all. You can comment. They got one like. Sure, let's give them another like. Let's give them a like. All right. Because they have only 267 subscribers, and it seems that they're trying to just do, like, because when you first see it, it looks like it might be an advertisement or something about the camera, but they're just showing small clips of this is what the camera is, and it doesn't have to be good footage either, so that's kind of funny, in a way. But yeah, I think that's most of, the news I got for today, anyway. Especially the Starfield news. That was kind of interesting, in my, because, if we just kind of circle back around over there to that, talking about Starfield, is it going to be delayed? I don't know about being delayed, because they never actually said, after they delayed it, I guess, the first time. They just, I guess, decided to not come out with another I guess, they just decided to not come out with another release date. And that makes sense, so not coming out with another release date is probably the smart thing on their part. So, and here's another Hi-Fi Rush leaker claims Starfield Rivals, it's in rough shape. That was the one that we just watched, or read about. Yeah, there's really no other news other than from a week ago, and that's what we looked at, Starfield release date announced very soon, to be announced very soon, and I don't know. I guess they would have to come out with something because everyone's end of the year Q4 stock with their earnings reports from the stock market. Everyone is coming out with those reports. So I know that that's probably Microsoft pushing Bethesda. You gotta say something. You can't keep everyone on their toes forever, because that hype will eventually just kind of die off, especially when they announce, oh, the game will come out next year. You know, as soon as they mention that it's late, it's going to, because there's already quite a few people that I saw, even on comments that have made on my post, about a lot of people saying March. So, with March being a release date that everyone's predicting, if they say something else, that's going to upset people, especially if they say fall. If it's coming out fall of this year, then, all right, so there goes most of the hype that it could come out. Well, we're still in January. That could come out in March or May, April, whatever. So I never really came up with a prediction. I think I want to make an April prediction, but not April 1st. Oh God, not April 1st. I think I want to say mid-April. Sometime between, I'm going to give a range date that is going to be between, let's see, the 10th of April of this year is going to be on a Monday. And then the 14th is Friday. 21st, so 4/20 of this year will fall on a Thursday. Games aren't usually released on a Thursday. At least a game like this would not be released on a Thursday. I want to go ahead and say maybe the 21st might be a date that they'll throw up there. If anything, the 22nd. If anything, it's going to release on a Friday, or it's going to be released on a date of a significance. So that's what Bethesda, they like their release dates, and that's kind of a big thing that they go on. It's got to be something that makes sense to them and to the game itself. So I know there was a few people, since I guess we're in 23, the 4th of March of 23. So, like 4, 3, 2, or whatever. Well, no, that would, you would have to, that's not really the way the day would work. Well, so that's that. But I think that ought to do it for this one, folks. I really have nothing else to add. There's really not a whole lot going on in the news. If this type of video is something that people like, and I actually kind of enjoy this, talking to people, and just kind of mostly just trying to talk myself. But like the video if you liked it. Subscribe it if you haven't already. I'll return, hopefully, with some Enderall videos. Just a little news about the Enderall videos before I log off here. I recorded an Enderall video last night because I got a new microphone, and I got a sound mixer board over here, if you can see. I had a hell of a time setting it up yesterday just because of everything I have here. I have this computer, a tablet, and then I have 2 monitors for my other computer over here. And I got a shit ton of crap just kind of plugged in everywhere. And my cable management has not been the best throughout the years. I kind of regret that now. I really do regret that now. Oh, there's the UFO preliminary report of that I was supposed to talk about, but I didn't get to it. We might talk about that later. It was just the report they posted up on the 25th of June of 2021, just saying, hey, we're looking at aliens, which I thought was funny that the United States government was, which I'm sure the other governments are doing too. But I went to plan to record an end all video, and I forgot to turn the desktop sound on, so it was just mostly silence with me commentating every once in a while. So I either have to go in and try to figure out how to fix that, or I'll just have to settle with the fact that it was not a whole, it wasn't like a long video. It was like less than 30 minutes. But there was some significant story moments in there, and it was mostly talking, but it would have probably helped the story a little bit. Maybe it wouldn't have. I don't know. But yeah, I lost all that footage pretty much. It's not lost, it's just that there's no audio to a lot of it, actually. So, or the audio is just bad in places, and I just kind of gave up last night. And then this morning, I guess everything's just working great. So yeah, there was that. But yeah, so yeah, that's everything. So don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. See you later, folks.